not on the property.
Are
so
they?
every you can do it on the sidewalk, by all means, right? But just not on the property, because that's what the order states.
So all other courthouses that I've covered protests on, they march right up to the doors of the courthouse. They protest on the court property. So why is this state court different than other counties in the state?
Because that's what this specific order states.
So this looks like a piece of paper. Normally orders are on filed pleading papers and they're signed by a judge.
Okay.
This looks like a leaflet.
But this is signed by the presiding judge. Okay. So I mean, I can.
Judge Zahner signed that?
No, it's Patricia Lucas.
So she's not the presiding judge anymore.
Okay. Well, it's the order that...
So she signed a regular piece of paper saying that people can't protest here on
the property.
And what do you consider protesting?
This is Susan Bassey, and for those of you who have been supportive of this YouTube channel, I want to thank you for your help, because I've learned a great deal from all of you about how to make my investigations better. This is an investigation of the Stanislaus County Courts, District Attorney's Office, and law enforcement agencies. This is the private security company that guards and secures the District Attorney's Office. We're going to be doing a public records request to see how much those contracts cost.
Hi. You guys work for the DA's office? I'm a reporter and I'm trying to find out how victims get services in this county. I'm just asking if you work for the DA's office.
We do. You would have to call the person in charge of our media, John Gould. He's the person.
I've already left a message for John Gould. And I'm an investigative reporter, and I am doing an investigation related to domestic violence cases and the Violence Against Women Act. And I'm looking at victim services, and I was wondering if there was somebody there from victim services that could show me what you offer victims when they try to report a crime. Are you attorneys? Are you researchers? Do you work in victim services? Do you want to give your name? My name is Susan Bassey. I'm conducting an investigation on the Violence Against Women Act and the use of state and federal funds in counties across the state. I have a YouTube channel. You guys will probably be on it.
If you've been watching mainstream media lately, you may notice that there's a lot more reporting of crime statistics. That means things like carjackings and purse snatchings, not things that really alter our lives. Serious crimes such as sexual assault, white-collar crimes, fraud, and crimes that result in serious public harm are not being prosecuted nor reported in crime rates. And that is the crime that really matters. And we're investigating why district attorneys do not investigate those crimes, nor do they help people who have suffered from those crimes. Because we're investigating the failures of the district attorney's office to keep the public safe and to do what they promise in their campaign speeches.
Do you recognize either of these DAs? They wouldn't give me their names. I don't know if they're government attorneys or legal researchers. Do you know?
No, they're all fraudulent anyway.
This is the inside of the Stanislaus County Courthouse. This is a video that I would not be able to make in Santa Clara County because there a judge has issued a rule that you can't record inside a courthouse. But because I could record here, I was able to capture this video of a bailiff following a witness out of a courtroom where I had just been court watching. Because what I saw in that courtroom, you can't see here, and I can't even show you on a screen. Because inside that courtroom, there's a rule that you're not allowed to record. But out here, I can record anybody I want, including all the sheriff's deputies who work at the courthouse.
I don't know. It's one of them.
It's in, is it 7 or 8?
7.
7.
Tisha, you filed a complaint against Judge Cassidy at the CJP.
Yes.
And your complaint alleges what?
That he called over to the district attorney's office and had me charged with perjury charges in my family law case.
And were you prosecuted for that?
I'm still being prosecuted.
So the DA is prosecuting you for that. And what was the rulings that you were upset about in Judge Cassidy's court?
Well, I've been to Judge Cassidy's court 4.5 years, and I've been there 160 times now. So
you've been to Judge Cassidy 160 times. Do you have your children?
He has 3 different orders. One order with 2 kids are supervised visits. The other order is shared custody, and the other order is full legal custody. So either I'm a good mom or I'm a bad mom. He just can't figure that out.
And so are you on supervised visits right now?
Yes.
How much do you have to pay an hour to see your children?
It's normally $120 an hour, but I haven't talked to them in 5 months.
Why is that?
The pandemic, COVID-19 shut down all the services. So he won't allow any other place besides Sierra Vista to allow me to see them.
So Sierra Vista is the supervised visitation provider
Preferred provider.
in the county? Has anybody looked into it to see if judges and attorneys in this county own an interest in that business?
I'm not sure.
Good question,
Yeah,
huh?
good question.
So we see that in Santa Clara County, that sometimes judges, family members or associates or attorneys that are getting these supervised visitation orders, and the supervised visitation orders are starting to be cranked out at a very large rate.
Yes. They have like 240 families there, they told me, because I'm friends with all of them. They know I'm a good mom. But when I brought a new provider to the court just simply said, oh, I don't know them, and would not allow me to use the new provider, and that's not the protocol.
Okay, so I want to ask you one more question.
Hi.
Hi. You were able to speak directly to Judge Cassidy. Figure this video might do that. What would you say to him?
Return my babies home. I'm missing time. My 2 oldest children haven't been home in 5 years. There's dust in their room. There's dust on their little beds, and they miss their mama. And I miss my babies. I just don't understand how you could let me have one child and say I'm a good mommy, but I can't have my other ones. It's just so...
Our kids are not for sale.
Protest.
Our kids are not for sale.
Judges taking their children in family court proceedings.
Our kids are not for sale. 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 Our kids are not for sale.
Amy coming. Not for sale. Our kids are not for sale. Our kids are not for sale. Our kids are not for sale.
And did you have these children with somebody who you were not married to?
Yeah, well, I had a husband that I had 2 children. I was married for 18 years, and then I had a boyfriend and then another boyfriend. So there's 4 children and 3 dads. But I became a victim of domestic violence, and I quit my job. And at 40, I had to go get on public assistance for a couple months until I could figure out how to survive through the domestic violence where he threatened to kill me.
And that was which person?
With my youngest 5-year-old. So I have full custody of my 5-year-old because they were able.
Did you have domestic violence in your marriage?
Yes.
And was there ever a 3044 finding about that?
No.
Did you raise it in the family law case?
I didn't.
And did you raise it in the second case?
Yes.
Did you raise it in the third case?
Yes.
And so when you raised it in the second and third case, you felt like you got retaliated against?
That's exactly right.
Did you feel that it was less fair because you had not been married to the dad?
Yes.
What made it feel less fair?
My ex-boyfriend is Modesto PD. So...
What is his name?
Mario Lopez.
And is he still a police officer?
Yes.
And have you ever seen SB 1421 records on him?
No.
Do you know what that is? That's police misconduct records that now the media can get. Do you know that one of the problems that we have as reporters is that when you are not married to the dad, their cases are secret. We cannot see your files, and the judge has the discretion to close the courtroom. Do you think that, did you have Judge Cassidy for all 3?
Yes.
Do you think Judge Cassidy gave favorable treatment to Mario Lopez?
Yes.
Because he was a Modesto police officer?
Yes, and the sheriff who filled out the police report for the alleged perjury charges, was his best man in his wedding.
In Cassidy's wedding?
Or in my ex-boyfriend's wedding. So the sheriff who brought charges against me for perjury was Mario's Lopez. Best man at his wedding.
And he was a sheriff and Mario Lopez's PD.
Yes. And Cassidy called over to PD, and I have him on the court transcripts where I turned him into the CJP saying that he's stepping outside of his judicial canons. And he said, we called over to see what they were doing, and they are in fact bringing charges on you, and we have emails. So I reached out for support at the CJP to tell them that he overstepped his canons and to subpoena their emails, because he has his hands in all of these. I have 4 perjury charges in the criminal case that's been going on for 3 years.
Okay, can you do me a favor? She has my email address, and I want you to email me the police reports.
Yes.
And I want you to email me everything about Mario Lopez, and I'm going to do an investigation with the police department and with the sheriff's department. Okay?
Let's hear
your name?
My name's Susan Bassey.
Hi.
Robert Powell. I'm Susan Bassey. I'm really happy to meet you. Do you know who I am?
I do not. Should I?
I am a local journalist. I'm a vexatious litigant. And every attorney in this town knows me. I know your case in the Plett case. Deputy Plett.
Are you peaceful?
Am I peaceful?
Are you coming in a nice way to him?
What was Plett?
Can I request
Sheriff Plett.
This is my issue, not yours.
All right, good. Just making sure you're being nice.
Sheriff Plett.
I seem to remember
I'm usually not nice to attorneys, but I know.
I seem to remember the name, but I've probably had like
So it was a
300
case
cases,
down in Gilroy, and it was where the deputy had sex with a. Remember that? And I got your federal case, and I've emailed you in the past. I've followed all your CPS cases. I'm a local journalist. I used to be associated with the Metro. I'm now taking on the courts, and they don't like that very much. You guys know what they're protesting over there?
No, not really.
Did you know there was an attorney giving this speech just then? You know who the attorney is? Robert Powell. Do you recognize the name? He's the one that sued Officer Plett, who was having a thing down in Gilroy in his patrol car. You remember that case? You didn't hear about that? No. So he was preying on some woman who was involved in a custody dispute, and he was forging documents to help her out in her custody case. And so Robert Powell filed a lawsuit, federal case against Deputy Plett down in Gilroy. He's with the Sheriff's Department. I have the federal complaint. I'll post it in case you're interested in reading about that. He decided to use his patrol car as a brothel and to help out a woman get her kid in a custody case by rigging some reports for her. And Robert Powell is the attorney in town that steps in on custody cases when there are violations of federal law. So I just thought I'd let you know. That's what those people are doing. They don't have any weapons, they're not dangerous, and they're not a threat. But we're here because 3 years ago, there was an arrest right here on this sidewalk when a smaller protest was taking place.
So, yeah, and totally, we understand, like, hey, every right to protest, and obviously, this is the order that just stay on the sidewalk.
So you know that order originally said not even on the sidewalk, and that's where Scott Largett was arrested on May 1st, 2018.
Okay,
what does this order say? Because I have, my reading glasses will not be able to let me read that. So what does the order essentially say?
Well, it says that basically, in a nutshell, is that you can protest on the sidewalk, just not on the property.
Okay, so you guys are here to make sure nobody comes on the property?
Yeah.
So are they allowed to stand up here and hold their signs?
No.
Hard. And that's what's happening in our courts. They'll try to use Waco versus Morales. As we've seen with the George Floyd protest, people are sick and tired of government overreach. They are sick and tired of victimization of children under the color of law. When children are dying in foster care and those deaths are not even reported, we have a problem.
We have a problem when you don't do your job. It's your guys' job.
Thank you for coming today. Thank you. Everyone.
Anyone want to say something? Erin? Does anyone have something to say while we're here? And since we're amazingly not getting kicked off, that's incredible.
Yeah, I know. You know why? Because I come with real law. I come with real codes, and they know it.
Thank you for coming.
Really, I'm serious. I come with real law, and it's their duty. It's your duty. It's your duty as a sheriff. Shame on you. Shame on you for not coming out here and investigating real crime. Right here is what this girl did. In a circle. Put their bomb, okay? They really do. See, they don't like you. I don't care. Come. Come here. I got real law for you to learn. Come over here.
We all want to move back over.
Everybody that's a sheriff. I got real law. If anybody violating this, make sure you're recorded. Because every single one of you, I'm about to put on notice.
Non-negotiable.
Here, come here.
Notice.
You guys are all sheriffs? Good, because I got a
non-negotiable notice of complaint.
Hi guys.
Hi there.
How are you? Oh, we have a lot of police officers. In fact, you guys might outnumber the protesters.
Complaint is to inform the Palm Beach County Mayor, Dave Turner, Vice Mayor Robert F. Weinroth, Palm Beach County Commissioners Melissa McKinley, Greg K. White,
No, I don't
Matt
want
Bernard,
nothing.
Mary
Until you
Berger,
start
and
doing your
Pat
job. We don't need you guys. We're going to defund you.
Regina C. Baker of the following violation.
Violation. You see that sheriff's code directly to the people. You guys are supposed to be holding constitutional law that they are violating. They are kidnapping children. Oh, color of law.
Governing authority
You
to
see
shut
that?
down
Woo!
Palm Beach
Read my
County
things.
and mandate anything.
Others, I don't need
You
yours
are
if you're not
all
going to
in
read mine.
violation of Florida state and federal constitutional law.
Constitutional law.
You are all in
I
violation
should get all your answers.
You know you work for us, right? You work for me. You work for me. Not them. You work for me.
I'm going to take all yours. You guys want to steal children, jack up people that are committing crimes against humanity.
Did you get your order, Bob?
What?
You got that order?
Yeah, well, actually, you can't make a court order against the legality of the Constitution, so it's a First Amendment violation.
Absolutely.
So actually, so what we need to do.
It's been a First Amendment violation since they arrested Scott Largent.
Patricia Lucas.
Yeah, it's Patricia Lucas.
Oh, good. Okay, so that's animus.
Yes, Patricia Lucas. She is the Judicial Council legal advisor.
Did you know that? You have more powers. You guys should be holding them in contempt. That's what you guys need to do. You guys want to come learn some real law?
Oh, Officer Ray, here we are 3 years later, same place, same time, same issue, same unconstitutional order. How you doing? Did you call all that back up after they got a little loud outside the door? The Walk of Shame went on my YouTube channel and I noticed they called reinforcements. Did you know when you were not worried, you were so worried about what I was reporting on in that courthouse that they were literally putting an imposter real estate agent on the stand to sell properties and forge documents? Did you know that, Officer Ray? And you were enforcing an unconstitutional order. A lot of public resources on an unconstitutional order. Sheriff Smith, know you're doing this?
Really good journalists anymore. They're just advocates being paid by the courthouse, right? It's so sad.
Most reporters don't know how to cover court proceedings. They don't know the law and they don't know what's happening to people inside. They just take the PIO's information. That's what they do.
So excited. Great job, everybody. Right there.